I'm Brian DeMarie. I'm a loan originator with Union Home Mortgage in the DeMarie lending team. Today we're going to talk about how to prep your buyer before they talk to us. So we have a lot of multiple offer situations, super low inventory right now. Being aggressive if you're a buyer's agent is imperative if you're going to get your deal to the finish line or get it accepted. So we suggest two things just from the start. One, you want to let them know that before they talk to us that we will be running their credit and that we're going to be doing a full application, asking them a bunch of personal questions like their employment, their income, how much money they have in the bank. They don't always need to tell you these things, but they are going to need to share that with us. And also give them a list of the documentation that we're going to ask them for so they can have that up front and they can start collecting that before they even talk to us. What happens is a buyer decides that they don't want anybody to touch their credit until they find the house that they love. And what happens is the house comes on the market, they love it just by the pictures, they want to go see it, maybe you even show that to them, and then they call us on a Friday night telling us, hey, we found the house that we want and we're ready to do an application. And by the time we get all of their documentation in, which could take a few days depending on what they do for a living, the house is gone. And now the house that they wanted to see and the house they've been waiting for, and they think their dream home is now not going to be available to them. And what ends up happening is they say, oh, okay, well, we missed it. Now I don't need them to run my credit again. And they don't learn their lesson on that first house. And then they go and they wait for another house to come on the market that they do want to see. And then we still don't have their application because they don't want them to touch their credit. And so now they miss out on the second house as well. So best case scenario is we're able to have their full application ready so that when they see that house, you can make an offer. We work with some realtors that make the offer while they're in the home. They do the whole paperwork while the people are in the home with them. We've seen this a couple of times, and we think it's a pretty effective way to work, but they can't do it if they don't have a pre-approval letter, right? So all of this needs to be in place, especially if they're like self-employed or they get a lot of tips income or they have like a lot of overtime that they work with. That's not something that we can just do over one phone call. We're going to need to have their documentation. And best case scenario, you have them ready pre-talking to us just so that we can have all their documentation right in their pre-approval so you can make an offer immediately, even sometimes sight unseen.
So in the marketing world, one of the things I recommend looking at is a free tool called Google Trends. I'm sure some of you know about this. Free tools seem to get ignored in the marketplace for whatever reason. People would rather pay for things. But Google Trends is an incredible free resource that I highly recommend checking out. So one of the things that indexes on there in Florida, in the top category, is how to buy a house. These numbers are way up in Florida right now. The other search is credit scores for anybody that's looking to buy a house, right? Because many of them need mortgages. In the rising category, it's what do I need to buy a house? So if remember, this may be indexing on Google really high, but it's probably indexing high on Facebook as well, because if they're looking on Google, they're going to get on Facebook at some point. If you ended up running some sort of content just based on how to buy a house, this is really basic first-time home buyer type questions. This is really easy content to generate. Now, in the breakout category, breakout is when something is indexing over 5,000%. Those three big ones right now in Florida, at least, are help to buy a house, relocating, and flipping. Again, all of these are really easy categories to make content on. If you don't have any ideas on how to do that, reach out to me. Like I said a couple of times, me and Lily are happy to sit in on your podcast, on your videos. If you want to come to the office, we can sit there and make videos. We could do long form, short form, any content that we can put out there in a video form to get people interested in buying a house or just get them asking questions. These are all buy questions and buy topics. And the market is hot right now, guys. And, we got to stay in front of them. My weekly Facebook ads workshop is going to begin next Monday, 12 o'clock. It'll be like a Zoom thing. I'll add that on to my agent account today. Take a look for that. I'm going to start at the beginning so you guys can, I'm going to go by baby steps for anybody that's never done this before. It's a little bit, there's a little bit to learn, but once you get good at it, you can build Facebook ads in less than 5 minutes after a while, as long as you have your content made already. So feel free to join me there. Check us out at lilydemarie.com. Got some resources there. Check us out on Instagram. All these videos are backed up on YouTube, so feel free to join us there. And talk to you tomorrow.